Hello, Jerry Garcia here, and today I'll be speaking on the topic of the hero's journey. This will be a quick one because I'm very much going off of one of my favorite videos on the internet, this TED Ed animation that I'll share the link to on the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell monomyth. What is a hero's journey? What is a hero, or what makes a hero? Obviously, from a writing perspective, something like the hero's journey is always in the back of my mind. But an application of this monomythic perception, I believe, lends itself to a more beneficial view on the world and onto others. In fact, in most modern media, the hero's journey is mostly, at least publicly, ignored and perhaps undervalued. People view it as too basic or straightforward and wish to diverge from it and do their own thing. Well, my view on it is that you can do your own thing within the confines of the monomyth, because the monomyth is every story. And to go into something with these, idea that it seems too basic or generic already mars your appreciation of it before you even experience it. There is a huge anti-story movement underway, just like, more famously, there's a big anti-hero movement nowadays where a lot of characters are written as anti-heroes instead of just heroes or villains. And in this anti-story idea, there are more divergent plot lines and characterless or plotless works of film and writing. And I think that the end result of that is just being different, but not in any positive way, because difference isn't necessarily positive. You can diverge from stories that have come before, of course, and you should. After all, there's no reason to write the same exact precise story as an author before you, but the formula of story itself is important and should be part of the process. One thing I find interesting about the hero's journey before I move on is that it isn't necessarily held down to one work. An arc can span multiple books or other forms of entries until this character has completed his or her path, which I find delightful, because that's a way to reinvent the story and catch the audience off guard when a character suddenly enters trials or crisis or something partway down the line. And a character can go on multiple journeys. In that video that I expressed my appreciation for early on, the clock turns back to 12 o'clock at the end, ready to start anew, back at status quo. The possibilities are endless. And so there's really no need to break the formula. And at the end of the day, if you break the formula, you make a boring story, because yes, you can have a character not go through these necessary steps, but then it won't strike the same chord and it just won't be as entertaining. Again, if your only selling point is that your creation is different, especially when it is different from something that is already fine, then it isn't worth buying. This is part at the end of the video that I personally found very striking. The narrator, Matthew Winkler, asks us what we have in common with all these heroes of old, and then says, "You're human." While I found that to be quite a strong point, that line was met by mockery when I showed this video to my elementary school class, who were sure to point out that one of the characters he listed was not in fact human. Which, if you go to that video now, you'll see that the comments share that sentiment. However, I believe all of these people are missing the point. When he says you're human, he doesn't mean that you are biologically, anatomically a human being. It is the sentiment, the soul, if you will, that makes the human, not the form. When I asked at the beginning of the video what makes a hero, you wouldn't think, oh, a sword or spells. What makes a hero is the heart, the motivation, the drive, the willingness to bring about change. And at the end of the day, a lot of that is reflected in how I view humanity as well. Humans aren't simply containers of flesh. We are sentient creatures filled with thoughts, feelings, ideas. You're you. And to me, that very concept is beautiful. Like I said in the last on the topic of with Sam Al-Khatib's work, he shows this human side to these men with these tough exteriors, and I cannot help but be amazed by that just beauty in his work, that honest, just glorious beauty in these human characters. However, that's all from me. So, until next time, adieu.